Good morning, my Real News Midday TV family. Thank you so much for tuning in this morning, and I'm wishing for everyone a wonderful and a productive day. And in the news this morning, father fatally shot at Rosa Primary identified. The father, who was shot and killed on the compound of the Rosa Primary School in Kingston Monday afternoon, has been identified by the police. He is 56-year-old Gary Leslie of a Kingston 11 address. Leslie was reportedly picking up his son from school when he was attacked by two armed men. The gunmen opened fire, hitting the man in the head before escaping, the police said. The St. Andrews South police are investigating. Police arrest a taxi driver who damaged the JUTC bus. The taxi operator, who was captured on video hurling stones into a Jamaica Urban Transit Company bus along Hope Road in St. Andrew, has been charged with malicious destruction of property and dangerous driving. Assistant Commissioner Gary Mackenzie, commanding officer for the Public Safety and the Traffic Enforcement Branch, confirmed the arrest Tuesday afternoon. ACP Mackenzie said that the taxi driver was intercepted by the police during an operation to nab him. The owner of the vehicle reported to the police on Monday. He was questioned and released. 3 cops are freed of solicitation of bribe charge. 3 policemen charged with a solicitation of bribe in 2021 were freed of the charge when they appeared in the St. Catherine Parish Court on Monday. Corporal Stephen Peart and the constables Maurice Foster and Lawrence Bogle were freed following a submission by their attorney John Jacobs. Mr. Jacobs argued that the evidence against the men was weak and that the Crown would not be able to mount a successful prosecution. It was alleged that on February 6, 2021, the policemen were on duty when they stopped a car for reported breaches of the Larceny Act. The vehicle was taken to Central Village Police Station in St. Catherine, where the complainant was reportedly told to do something, a term often associated with a solicitation of a bribe. A subsequent report was made to the police, which resulted in an investigation and the ruling from the Office of the Director of Public Prosecutions that the cops be charged. The accused made numerous court appearances and maintained their innocence throughout. CTOC raid results in cash vehicle seizure and 2 arrests. The police seized more than $50 million in cash during a major operation on Tuesday along St. Vincent Boulevard in St. Catherine, targeting lottery scammers. 2 illegal firearms and 4 high-end vehicles were also seized. 2 persons were arrested in the operation by the Counter-Terrorism and Organized Crime Investigations Branch. The police also recovered a quantity of British pounds, US currency, and Jamaican dollars. Senior Superintendent Dr. Anthony McLaughlin, who heads CTOC, said that the 2 persons arrested have been under the radar for some time, but we try to ensure that all efforts are put in a very tight and professional investigation. The 2 will be charged under the Proceeds of Crime Act and the Firearms Act, noting as well that the persons involved in lottery scamming and fraud are no longer confined themselves to those activities. They are always armed with firearms, so they are getting more violent as the days go by.
They will be processed and charged under the Proceeds of Crime offences as well as the Firearms Act. These premises and these 2 individuals have been under the radar for quite a while, but as you know, we try to ensure that all the efforts are put in a very tight and professional investigation. So one of the things too that I want to advise persons about is that no longer are we seeing where persons who are charged with lottery scamming activities or fraud are just doing that. They are always armed with firearms, so they are getting more violent and more violent as the days go by. Based on the amount of monies that were seized here today, it is obvious that we will have to include our external partners. FID, which is the Financial Investigation Division, MOCA, if needs be, the U.S. Embassy. Our partners at the U.S. Embassy will be invited to sit around the table for us to discuss and do this investigation together.
IC sets record straight on Christie's post-shooting comments. Integrity Commission Chairman Justice Retired Seymour Panton on Tuesday suggested that had an instruction given by former Police Commissioner Anthony Anderson been carried out by a senior member of the police force, the attack on a member of the anti-corruption body could have been averted. Government lawmaker Pernell Charles Jr. resurrected the issue during a meeting of the Integrity Commission Oversight Committee, where he asked Panton to comment on a controversial response by the IC's Executive Director, Greg Christie, following an incident in which Ryan Evans, a director responsible for public education at the IC, was shot and injured at the offices of the Commission on September 21, 2023. Christie was asked by journalists for a reaction to the shooting. In his response, Christie said, "You should ask the government that. Ask them what that means." Giving details about the issue for the first time, Panton told the members of the ICOC that there were some very serious security concerns which he did not want to discuss. However, the IC chairman said because he was asked, he would respond. According to Panton, Anderson gave certain instructions to one of his senior officers, but those instructions were not carried out. Had those instructions been carried out, the incident may well not have happened in respect of Director Evans, he added. He indicated that when the instructions were disregarded, he wrote a letter to Prime Minister Andrew Holness and copied it to National Security Minister Dr. Horace Chang. He told the committee that the letter was dispatched to the Prime Minister and Chang a week before Evans was shot in the car park near the Commission's offices in New Kingston after men on a motorcycle accosted him and stole his briefcase. The reaction by the executive director to our mind was understandable, he said. The news understands that at the time Evans was shot, only one director of the IC had been assigned, a close protection officer from the Jamaica Constabulary Force, despite the IC also asking for protection for directors who carry out other critical roles in the fight against the corruption. A reliable source told the news that after Evans was shot, the IC had to take immediate steps to assign private security personnel to all the directors of the anti-corruption body. Following Evans' shooting, Holness said the government remained committed to supporting the work of the IC and would take all necessary steps to ensure the safety and the security of its staff. At Tuesday's sitting of the ICOC, eyebrows were also raised when Charles said he wanted Panton to comment on claims that Evans was a former advisor to political figures. Charles raised the questions of impartiality as well as a conflict in the conduct of the director's duties. Noting that he had no issue with Evans serving, Charles said, however, that he wanted to know how the IC addressed issues that members of the society had expressed concerns about. What's next? What are we going to do about the perception about the viability of a director in terms of his potential impartiality? Charles questioned. In his response, a stern Panton declared that it was nonsensical for there to be any discussion about Evans. He said Evans went through a regular process for recruitment and employment and was appointed by the Governor General. Panton made it clear that Evans, in his role as a director, had nothing to do with reports prepared by the anti-corruption body. His job is to go out there and inform people in respect of corruption. He has nothing to do with reports or prosecutions or non-prosecutions. We need to remember that our second, third, and fourth Governor Generals were active politicians. So bear that in mind when people are talking about somebody having worked with a politician for a period, he added. Panton said the Governor Generals were senior, active politicians for all their lives and they served the country well. This question of partisanship, we need to debunk it, the IC chairman said. Court hears accused the man may have fled to US through Mexico. Senior Parish Judge Sanchez Borrell was confused as to how a man facing assault charges may have fled to the United States of America by crossing illegally through the US-Mexico border. What's happening? How do you get to the border? And do you not need a visa? The judge quizzed. Her curiosity came to the fore after a complainant made the stunning allegation that the accused man may have fled the country. The man, who is charged with unlawful wounding and assault occasioning actual bodily harm, was expected to appear in the Kingston at the St. Andrew Parish Court on Tuesday to continue making restitution payment to the complainant. He was not present. However, a notice signed by a medical doctor authorizing his sick leave from October 14 to 20 was handed to the prosecutors. But the complainant said that the accused man's absence was just a ploy to not pay her the monies. He's missing from court and not bringing the money. I hear that he planned to go through the border. That's why he's not here. And he was at a popular individual's birthday show on the weekend, the complainant shared with the court. However, the judge was not familiar with the entertainer's name. Well, maybe he got sick at the show. If you see him being active, just take a picture, Burrell instructed the complainant. A bench warrant was issued for the accused man, and the matter was set for mention on October 22. Guys, thanks for watching. Please join us this afternoon at 2 p.m. for another news update.